Hi, Francisco with BenQ here. Today, I'd like to take you through the features and functions of your RP7504 BenQ board.
The digital whiteboard is called EasyWrite 6, and this is the application. On the EasyWrite whiteboard, you have lots of different elements to teach on the fly, to bring in your own content, as well as save your content directly to your cloud drive. As I mentioned earlier, you have two styluses with the board. While I can use my pen to write in handwriting on the board, I can also use my fingers as well. These boards are multiple points of touch, so it will recognize when you have several students at the panel working at the same time, as well as just utilizing multiple styluses or having to write multiple colors at one time. When I write something in my handwriting on the board, I have a couple of options with my pen here. I can use the select tool to select my word, and then it gives me this menu. You'll start to see that a lot of the menus look exactly the same, whether you're working with a text box, an imported image, or even a shape. These things are very intuitive to your use, so that way it's a lot easier for you to get the hang of utilizing these tools. I can tap the easy icon, and it's going to turn my handwriting directly into text. I can also tap the speech icon,
Hello.
and it will read it aloud. I can also tap the translate icon and translate languages. To adjust the spoken language or the translated language, you can just hold down on the translate icon, and then you can choose for another language package of your choice. I also have a menu that pops up here with my text box. I have lots of different options. I can trash this and delete this. I can lock it. I can also easily copy and use the clipboard to paste, or I can duplicate, or I can use the infinite clone. My infinite clone is now going to give me as many options as I want with having an infinite amount of resources. Similarly to how I wrote the text, I can also draw a shape with my pen. So if I draw my circle here, I can use my select tool to select that. I can tap the shape icon, and it is going to turn that into a perfect shape that closely matches what I drew. I now have all of those same options where I can lock, I can throw away, I can also change the color here to fill it in, and then I have all of those options such as duplicating or having infinite clone as well. One thing with the EasyWrite is its ease of navigation. You'll notice at the bottom, I've been working from the pen in your main toolbar here in the center, but over on the right-hand side, this is where I can see how many pages I have in my whiteboard at this moment. Right now, I'm on page 1 of 1. I can tap the plus sign, and now I have 2 pages, and it started a new page over for me. I don't have to worry about losing everything on my last page because I can just hop over to the new page and start fresh from there. I can also navigate my pages from this menu here. I can quickly drag and drop if I want to rearrange. I can also duplicate the page, or I can insert a new page. So if I want to insert a new page in between, I tap the 3 dots, select new, and it's going to insert a page in between those 2 pages. With the pen tool, you have a couple of options. You've got the normal pen, which is what I've been using to write. You can also switch between, so here's your pen. You can also switch with the highlighter. I can also have the dual pen mode, which allows me to have 2 different colors at one time. As I mentioned before, your styluses have a skinny tip and they have a thick tip. I can take one side of the pen and tap one color. I can take the other side of the pen and tap a different color. Now, when I write my notes, and then with one color, and I flip the pen around, I can now circle or underline or do something else with another color. This is also great when you have multiple students at the board. You can give each one the different size pen, or one of them can use the pen and the other can use their finger, and it allows them to write in 2 different colors at the same time so that it's easy to distinguish which students are doing which work. You also have the teacher toolbox all the way to the right on the main side, on the main menu. In this toolbox, you have resources such as a timer, a stopwatch. You also have a random spinner. When you're using this toolbox, some of the tools have this icon right here. Those are floating widgets. So now when I tap that, it's now a floating tool. I can move this around. Even when I use my home button to go back to my home screen, that floating tool is still going to be there. And also in the toolbox is our Google integration. We've got Google Drive and Google Chrome here. When you tap one of those icons, it will auto split your screen. So now I'm looking at my Easy Write and I'm looking at my Chrome browser. It will have your recently used tabs. It will keep them open so that you don't have to go find a whole new tab and go access all those resources. If you already had those resources open in Chrome, when you split your screen with Chrome, it will open all of those tabs that you had available. So now I can utilize my resources in a split screen. To change your split screen, you can make this side a little bit bigger, and so now my whiteboard is a little smaller just by utilizing the black bar in the middle to drag. If I want to completely get rid of my split screen, I can just pull all the way to one side and it will open the app back in full screen. I can also access my Google Drive from Easy Write as well. So now I've got my Google Drive in split screen and now I can access all of the resources to have on the ready. This is especially helpful when you want to have your Google Slides in presentation mode while also utilizing your whiteboard. It just gives you a lot more functionality to be using multiple resources at the same time. One last thing with Easy Write is now what do you do with this lesson? You've now created some different resources. I've got 5 pages here of notes and annotations I've modeled for my students. So now what do we do with this? On the bottom left side, you have the hamburger menu, the 3 lines, and you have a share icon. You have a lot of different options here to share this resource. Maybe you just want to share this one page as an image, or you want to share it as a PDF because you want to drop it into your Google Classroom or into Schoology so that your students can access it later, or especially for all those students that may be absent. I've got lots of different resources here. When I choose to save it as a PDF, it's going to ask me, which pages do I want to save? All of them I can select. I can pick and choose what I want to save. It's going to ask me to give it a name. And now I can choose if I want to save it directly into my Google Drive, or I can choose AMS because maybe I use OneDrive. When I tap AMS, it's going to take me to this window where now I can choose to either save it to my Google Drive, my OneDrive, or even directly to the board. That saving feature will work exactly the same way, regardless of the type of file you're saving it as. If you want this file to continue to be editable, or you want to share it with some of your colleagues in a shared drive, then the best way to save this resource will be to save it as an Easy Write file. That will keep it in the Easy Write file type to make it easy to open on another panel if you're teaching in another classroom, or if your colleague wants to use the same lesson for later.